Welcome back. Frame and wheels and ancillary bits and pieces have come back from powder coating. They look really amazing, really good. So this is the front wheel, Comstar. Let me have a look. Right, so that's offside and near side. You can tell which is which purely by direction of where the screw thread is. So obviously there's a locking cap that goes on there, so that's offside and near side. Got my bits and pieces. That's for the speedo, and that's gets dropped in there. These have been sitting in the freezer, and they are 6302 2RS wheels. Oh, sorry, bearings. They've been in the freezer for a bit, over 24 hours. They're SKF ones, and I didn't know this with bearings, but obviously doing a bit of research. So the 2RS just basically means there's two seals. You obviously drop that in there, and that can be tapped all the way in, and then from the other side that can be dropped in, so on and so forth. So obviously with bearings you don't want to be tapping any of the rubber. You just want to press in on the metal. So I have got various bits and pieces of things that I can use. That's a good one. Ooh. It's a little bit too big. Yeah, so happy with this one. That'll sit on there. I can hold that, just tap it in on the ground, turn it over, drop it in. You will notice on the inside obviously there's a little lip that sits out, and you want to tap it in as straight as possible. So obviously don't want to mark these because they've come back from the powder coaters all really well. You know, if you wanted to, you could use that, which is the other side. So just gonna start it off, gently tap it in. Try and keep it nice and level, metal on metal. This is probably going to be a little bit tighter because of obviously it's been powder coated. Let's go in. Trying to keep it nice and straight. Rubber mallet is probably taking its softness, so that's better. Drifting it in. Just a little bit. Nearly home. Okay, pretty much in. A little bit more to go. Right. Okay, so that drops in there. Another little lip in there for the other bearing. The other bearing has been sitting for 24 hours in a fridge or freezer or both. Again, see if I've got any drifts. No. Yeah, sweet. Or even 14 mil. Perfect. So this is the near side. This is where the gear bit is on for the speedo. I didn't put any grease on that side. Let me try a little bit of grease, see if it helps. Should have put a bit of grease on. I'm not a massive fan of packing loads of grease. They're sealed bearings, so I'm not going to take it all apart and introduce anything. Some may do, some may not. Okay, so a bit of grease in there. And tap away. Try and keep it nice and level. Again, metal on metal. Try and keep away from well, it's going in a lot easier. I should have put grease on it. Brilliant. Okay, so the seal is now fitted on that side. Important to note, I've got it wrong way around earlier, but the dip or the valley is facing outwards like that, and on the off side that's now screwed on, cleaned up, screwed in, tapped in. There's only one thing I need to do before anything really, is just to punch a hole, not a hole, but use a punch to fuse the metal together a little bit. So that's the front wheel done. Come on to the rear wheel. Here's the crush hub. Crush hub is a large bearing which sits in here. Nothing else. Give that a clean and tidy up. And then the back wheel has two bearings, one on either side, and the same sort of like shafts, etc. So the crush hub. 3 parts of the crush hub: the actual hub itself, spacer, and oil seal and retaining cap. Cleaned up the inside of the face of the crush nut. crush hub, and again, you know, I could use that to knock the hub down, the bearing down. Okay, scrub that. Okay, moving on to the crush hub, or sprocket hub, or whatever you want to call it. 3 parts to it: the hub, spacer and retainer. Bearing goes in. I've cleaned up the face of the actual hub, so bearing goes in. Just make sure it's the same size as the one I took out. Yep. Again, this bearing is, it's obviously not that. Ah, here it is. 6305 2RS. Again, 6305 size of the bearing. 2RS is the, in fact, it's double sealed as opposed to that one, which is the old one. Spacer, again, metal on metal. I can use that to tap the bearing into the hub. Use my trusty metal hammer to give it some whackaging. Put a little bit of grease on it. Excuse me. And again, there's a little lip which I'm trying to get towards. If you get it nice and level on the floor, it's easy to get it level when you're whacking it in. So we'll start off with it level. And that is down all the way on the lip. Retainer drops in there, or sorry, spacer drops in there on that side. And then with my grease, that was a second ago. Ah, here it is. I need to tidy up. I fucking just had it. So obviously that's the spacer. Bin that, bin that. That can go in the bin. Those 2 old bearings can go in the bin with that bag. Over there. My bin. Bin. Didn't take it over there, did I? No. I literally just had it. Okay, got my retaining bolt. Obviously this special tool fits into the holes. Cleaned it all up. Gonna fit new bearings. Gonna fit new grease. So I found my take 6 retaining screw that goes into the top there, and I'm just gonna put some nice grease in there, pack it in into the valley of the seal. Using high temperature grease. happy with that. Let's clean the threads. A special tool that you have to buy. I'll take it off now. I put it on and it's so four prongs, drop it in, and I don't think there's an actual, just make sure it's all level. It will feel tight because okay, cool. Screw it down. So what I'm doing is keeping pressure on there, screwing that all the way in. A bit more. There's no torque value, so once that's done, retainer can be dropped from the other side. Retainer, that's on that side. So rear wheel, we've done the sprocket hub or the crush hub or whatever you want to call it. So now I'm going to do the rear wheel. Two bearings in the rear wheel, which are 6304 2RS. Again, 6304 being the size, 2RS being two seals either side. So these are the bearings. I'll put a link of where I got them from. Fairly cheap, but I went for SKF. Okay, so just for ease of videoing, I pushed the bearing in just using a simple drift, metal on metal, in up until it stopped. Job done. Obviously that's the off side of the wheel. On this side of the wheel you have this shaft, that the axle goes through. There's these little pins or legs or whatever you want to call them either side. They have to be opened out. So when you get the bearings out, you push a screwdriver in, bend it over. These bend over to allow you to drift the bearings out. So just drop them in. And you see how they sit on there. Other bearing, exactly the same size, which is a 6304 2RS. I did have it somewhere. Put it down. Where the fuck is that? This fucking garage. It was literally there. Oh, there it is. Knew it was nearby. Again, SKF bearings, most supposed to be the best in the business. Doesn't matter which way. Bit of grease. I learned that the hard way doing the front wheel. So this is the near side. This is the sprocket side. So you have the crush hub or crush drive or whatever you want to call it. So that drops in there. Again, drift onto the metal hammer. Just make sure it goes in nice and straight. Shouldn't be too difficult. Just try and keep it metal on metal. You see the inner thing there? Try and keep that as you screw it down. Keep going. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, last but not least then is the retainer, the bearing retainer. That screws on there, and you need a special tool, again from Honda. I purchased mine on eBay from hondaclassics.co.uk. Both for the back wheel. You can get one for the front wheel. Fuck, do I need extension bar? Oh, excuse me. Extension bar. I had it earlier. So I'm going to take the bearings out. Got it? No. Got it? No. Well, that's the bit that fits that bit. So yeah, that'll do. Alright, just use extension after extension. Fuck it. 2 prongs on the bottom here. 2 prongs on the tool. There's no torque value, so as tight as you can get it. And then you need to drift it with a punch to secure it in place. Still needs to go somewhere, I think. So I think it needs to sit flush. So bearing. Exactly same size bearings, everything. So that should just screw down now. Okay, that's as tight as I'm going to get it. But I'm not happy that's all the way down. So I know that's in. And I know that's in. Yeah, so that's done. I can't remember how much it's that proud. Let me have a look on the trusty manual. Looks pretty flush to me. Fuck's sake. Okay, so next job is refit all these rubbers. Where they go? They go one way or the other. The hub. That's it. So I think these take the shock of the engagement. Bit of rubber. So I know I've got to come back to both the front and the back in terms of locking these in by just using a punch. You can see the old holes there, especially on this one as well. And that is front and back wheel done, bearings fitted and all back together, and get those out for now, getting the tyres on. Awesome. Thank you very much.